prepare to race onto the field. Everything is riding on this football game. So there's a special intensity, a special urgency. Here come the Volunteers. Wherever you listen throughout the world, it's football time in Tennessee.
What's up, guys? Dane Davis here. Shout out to Boogie Bentley Dauber and the Indy Kid over at Talkin VAWLS Network on YouTube. VAWLS fans, head over to their YouTube channel, Talkin VAWLS Network. Smash that like button and subscribe, baby. Go Big Orange.
Welcome to the Talkin VAWLS Network. My name is Boogie Bentley, and the Vols return to the practice field today, but things are about to get kicked into high gear. They'll be in full pads tomorrow, and then they've got a scrimmage scheduled on Thursday, and the second scrimmage of fall camp is scheduled on Tuesday. So, like I said, I think business is about to pick up. I think we're really going to start to get a feel for this football team, especially when it comes to the quarterback competition, which we have some reports from practice today about what's going on with that situation. But as always, guys, do me a favor, go ahead and smash that thumbs up just below the video. It helps the channel, helps the analytics. You know the deal. Also, if you're new to the Talkin VAWLS Network, welcome. We're just three dudes that love Tennessee football. We're not experts. We're not insiders. We are fans just like you. So go ahead and subscribe. Click that bell for notifications. You won't miss out when we go live, when we drop new content. We've been rolling through the fall of the Vols. I know some people don't like it, but tomorrow morning we'll be uploading the Jeremy Pruitt era, talking about the coaching shirts. We're talking about Shiano shutdown. We're talking about the firing, the NCAA investigation, everything leading up. We're going from 98 and how you win a national championship to 5 different coaches in 13 years. But Thursday, we're going to put a positive spin on things. This Thursday, 8 p.m. Eastern time, we're going live. It's the conclusion to the fall of the Vols, but we are going to call it the rise of the Vols. We're going to be talking about Josh Heupel and what he has to do to get this program headed back in the right direction. But let's get into practice from today. And just a quick reminder, like I said, like our little spiel, we're not experts. We're not insiders. We all work full-time jobs. So when it comes to practice reports, we're obviously not there. So we pull from different sites like VolQuest, like Rocky Top Insider, like GoVols 24/7. We compile all the information, bring it here for you guys. So let's get into it. And speaking of Rocky Top Insider, these highlights are from today's practice, and they are over at Rocky Top Insider. It is a free site. I encourage you guys to check it out. So we'll get those rolling and start talking a little bit about practice here. Obviously, the thing that's on everybody's mind, everybody wants to talk about the quarterback competition, who's taking the most reps, who's first in line, who's last in line, and why. It seems like quarterbacks have kind of been going in numerical order, and then one practice they switched and went reverse. Today, it seems like Hendon Hooker and Joe Milton threw the ball probably better than anybody. It does sound like Harrison Bailey struggled, but the real takeaway from practice today is that Brian Maurer seems to be taking less and less reps. But again, keep in mind, media is only there for a limited time. So we don't know what happens. The reports are closed off after media is forced out of practice. And something that Jason Swain talked about this morning on his show, every quarterback has had an opportunity. They don't have any excuse. They can't say they didn't get a chance. He was at practice on Saturday, which was actually closed to the media, said every single guy has been given an opportunity to take first team reps and show what they can do. But what did Josh Heupel say? Josh Heupel said he wanted somebody to go and earn it. And again, something else Swain kind of talked about is you have to remember, when I say that the reports come out indicate that Harrison Bailey had a rough day today, that's during the media attendance. So you don't know what happens after that. But again, it goes back to what I said at the top of the video. I think we are really going to see things start to flesh out as we go into that scrimmage on Thursday and then the second scrimmage on Tuesday. Also tomorrow, putting on full pads. That changes the game. That changes everything compared to being out there in helmets and shoulder pads. So what's going to happen? Who's going to be taking the most reps? Who's going to show up and show out during those scrimmages? I think that is going to determine who your starting quarterback is. But it is interesting. Somebody was talking about it in the Facebook group that Brian Maurer seems to be taking fewer and fewer reps as we move forward. Now, obviously, another big subject was the offensive line, as Glenn Ellerbe met with the media today, as well as a bunch of players off of that offensive line. I guess you would probably start with Kayron Calvert. We haven't really talked about it much on the channel, but did suffer a bicep injury last week. and he's expected to miss the entire season. But on the flip side of that, you've got an offensive lineman that's going to have to miss probably the entire year, but he was still at practice today. And that goes back to the family atmosphere that Josh Heupel is creating. Calvert's a guy that played in 32 games in his time at Tennessee, had 5 starts on the offensive line. He's a guy that you expected. You don't know if he would have necessarily made it into that starting 5, but he's a guy that would have been adding depth. So you're going to have to go deep. You're going to have to figure out who these 5 offensive linemen are. One of the reports coming out of practice is that Darnell Wright seems to be working his way into that starting left tackle spot. I made a video several months ago talking about Darnell Wright and how big of a prospect he was coming out of high school and how this football team really needed him to step up this year and lock down that left tackle spot. He's down 25 pounds, looks to be in shape. And that's something that really has kind of gone under the radar is the strength and conditioning program, because throughout the summer, these guys have some guys have trimmed down, especially on the offensive line, getting in better shape. Brent Hubbs over at VolQuest likes to say they look the part. Some of these guys look bigger. They look more physical. So that's something we've not really talked about is the strength and conditioning program. But again, back to the offensive line. This offensive line is going to need some depth. Obviously, Cade Mays is the guy that they said, he can play right tackle, he can play right guard, and then we'll kind of fit everybody in around him. But all other spots are open for grabs. This is Coach Glenn Ellerby meeting with the media today after practice.
I think we're deep. I think that's the neat thing. There's 4 or 5 guys are slugging out at guard, same thing at tackle. You got guys that can bump and move like JC in at center, Cade in at guard. Those guys give you enough flexibility that you're deeper than you would if one guy was just backing up one position. And even Dane's been able to slide back and forth and kind of help us there as well.
Interesting that he mentions Jerome Carman there at center, because it seemed to me that Cooper Mays had that locked down. But, he talks about JC repping at center, so we'll see. But he went on in, his media appearance talking about the depth and moving guys around and kind of similar to what we're expecting out of that quarterback position. He said he wants to see how things pan out throughout these next 2 scrimmages. Then you're going to kind of see your starting 5. You're going to see who's going to be out there. Obviously, you're going to rotate guys. And, the report coming from VolQuest, Brent Hubbs, Austin Price talking about the tackle position. You expect Cade Mays on the right tackle. And then from what they're saying, Darnell Wright at left tackle, and then big Dane Davis, which what a story Dane Davis is, walk-on kid from up here in East Tennessee, getting a chance to go down there and actually compete for a starting spot on this offensive line. So shout out to Dane Davis. Obviously he did the shout out to us at the beginning, just a great story. And it sounds like, again, according to Brent Hubbs and Austin Price, that Big Dane Davis will probably be the 3rd tackle, the guy that rotates in and around and plays left or right, just be that 3rd guy in that rotation. Another position I wanted to talk about, because a lot of you guys have been mentioning wanting to get the tight ends more involved this year in this offense, and that's something that has been lacking down there until Harrison Bailey took over the job last year. I will give him credit. He did a great job. One of the things I really like about Harrison Bailey is his ability to spread the ball around and not just key in on one receiver. And I felt like when he was on the field, he did a good job getting the tight ends involved in the offense. But when you look at the tight end position, you're looking to Jacob Warren and Princeton Fant. Obviously, you need some depth. You need some depth behind those 2 guys. And the Vols are looking to Miles Campbell and Julian Nixon. And they're 2 guys that are going to have to step up. And in practice today, Julian Nixon was getting coached up and, getting coached up on blocking. That's a guy that's going to have to rise to the occasion, with Austin Pope retiring from football. Trinity Bell was another guy that big physical kid that I think can make an impact at Tennessee, but he is currently rehabbing from an ACL injury. So we'll see. I am kind of surprised with the lack of depth there right now. Again, I hate to keep going back to it, but no position move for D. Beckwith. And I get it. If he wants to play running back, if the coaches likes the way he plays running back, then let's keep him at running back. But it just seems like a prime opportunity to find a big physical kid and get him involved in your offense right now after, again, Austin Pope has to retire from football. But the tight end position is something I think we're going to see shine this fall. I'm excited to see what Jacob Warren can do. I think he's a talented kid. But we'll see. We'll keep you guys up to date. I think we're going to have a lot of news coming out of practice this week, as especially going into the scrimmage on Thursday. But that's going to wrap it up for this video. If you haven't done so yet, please smash that thumbs up on the way out the door. Also, you can pick up the official merchandise of the Talkin' Vols Network. The link to that is in the description below, and I'll also drop it in the comment section as well. But let me know what you thought of the clips from Rocky Top Insider. You got to see a little bit of routes on air. Also, one of the things that Brent Hubbs and Austin Price were talking about was Joe Milton threw an absolute dime of a deep ball as the media was walking off the field. Flip of the wrist, they said. Flip of the wrist, and he unleashed that cannon. So leave me a comment. Let me know what you thought of the film. I thought Hendon Hooker looked good. Again, we're talking about routes on air. We're talking about helmets and shoulder pads. But I thought Hendon Hooker looked good in the video from today. But that's it. I'm out of here. That's going to wrap it up for this one. This is the Talkin' Vols Network. My name is Boogie Bentley. Go Big Orange.
The songs howl like we poets sat in our chains, soaking moonlit falls, unbroken past this inundated orb that we call home, and it's night and I'm alone and I'm alive.